Good morning and welcome. My name is Erin Rogers and my pronouns are she, her. I want to welcome you to today's virtual worship service of Buckman Bridge Unitarian Universalist Church, or as we kindly abbreviate it, BBUUC. If this is your first time with us, welcome. We hope you take some time to learn about our church at bbuuc.org. If you're new to Unitarian Universalism, you can learn more about that at the Unitarian Universalist website at uua.org. If you've been with us for a while, welcome back. I'm glad to see you again. Here at BBUUC, we have many ways that we can stay connected even though our building is closed. You can find Zoom links for classes, small group ministries, and family RE in our website calendar. Unitarian Universalism is a faith united by values. At the core of those values is the expression of love. As Unitarian Universalists, we recognize that love surrounds us. Within our families, our church community, and the larger communities of which we are a part. And within these communities, each of us is an important instrument and expression of love. I hope you enjoy today's multi-generational lifespan religious education service as we explore what it means to be a part of a loving community. And now it's time for the chalice lighting.
Across the distance, the light from within me shines, sending love to all. Across the distance, your light is fuel that warms me and helps to keep my own light burning. Together, we keep the flame of community burning bright.
Father, mother, sister, brother.
Father, mother, sister, brother.
All are part of me.
All are part of me.
Teacher, friend, here within, they are all a part of me.
Teacher, friend, here within, they are all a part of me.
I love myself as I love you.
I love myself and I love you.
We touch each other and make life true.
We touch each other and make life true.
I am part of this community. It is part of me. I am part of this community. It is part of me. Guys, what is a community?
I don't know.
That's a big word. How would you explain what a community is, Jacob?
I would say that it's a group of people or animals or even plants that live next to each other or close together, and they help each other when they need something.
That is a wonderful description. I love that you included animals and plants because we don't always think about the fact that they're alive and they interact. And in fact, sometimes if you think about how animals and plants interact, right?
Yeah.
And we, of course, as part of the ecosystem, as part of the animal kingdom, we interact. So our community is even bigger than the community of people who live and work together. What a great idea. So, is our family a community? Is school a community? Yeah. So, let me ask, would it be nice if everyone in a community was the same?
I don't think so, because if everyone was the same, then no one would be able to have new ideas so that we can make the world a better place.
That's a really good idea. Also, if all the members of a community were bees, then how would they make the honey? Where would they get their nectar? And if all the members of the community were flowers, how would they pollinate themselves? We really do work together, right? And we need each other. So one of my favorite sayings is by the Buddha. It says that the foot feels the foot when it touches the ground. Do you know what that means? The foot feels the foot when it touches the ground. What do you think that means?
Maybe that the foot feels itself touching the ground when it touches the ground.
That's what I think too. I think it means that the foot becomes really aware of what it is when it comes in contact with something else. Because of course a foot can just float in space and be kind of aware of itself. But when it has a relationship with something else, it feels itself in relationship with that other thing. And I think that is part of the joy of living in communities. All of our relationships help us to understand who we are. I am part of this community. It is part of me.
Each year, we conduct a commissioning ceremony during worship to recognize our congregation's commitment to our I Care Justice Ministry. This year, a Zoom gathering was held on January 25th of our congregation's Justice Ministry Network members to honor their commitment to build justice through the work of I Care. We would like to recognize their efforts today by inviting our minister, Reverend Amy Moses Lagos, to share a portion of the ceremony with us, to recognize by name our dedicated network members, and encourage everyone in our congregation to join them on April 19th at our Nehemiah Action Assembly, held this year on Zoom, to fulfill our church's commitment to build justice.
We, as members of a congregation affiliated with the Unitarian Universalist Association, covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person. We also covenant to seek justice, equity, and compassion in human relations and work toward the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. These principles call us to work actively for justice in our community. For that purpose, we have created a BBUUC Justice Ministry affiliated with Jacksonville's Interfaith Coalition for Action, Reconciliation, and Empowerment, known as I Care. Our purpose today is to accept the commission made by the BBUUC Justice Ministry Network members to use their gifts in a special ministry, our Justice Ministry. They are working to do justice along with members of 37 other religious congregations in Jacksonville through the ministry of I Care. Our goal is to each bring 3 people to the Nehemiah Action Assembly on Zoom this April 19th, where we can hold economic and political systems accountable to the people and create a more just Jacksonville. We encourage all members of BBUUC to respond positively if they should approach you to bring your family to the Nehemiah Action on Zoom. Who cares? I care. What happens when we all work together? Great things happen.
What a wonderful way to interact with our larger community. iCare provides a way for us to join with other churches and make a difference in Duval County. Now is the time for joys and concerns. We light the first flame for iCare and all those involved as we work for justice in Duval County. We light a flame of joy for Morgan J., who after having clear PET scans had his chemotherapy port removed this week. The circle is complete. His entire family is incredibly grateful to this loving community for all the support, literally and virtually. We will light 2 flames in honor of this week's birthdays, both on February 9th, one for John S. and the other for Lynn W. Happy birthday to each of them, and we hope they enjoy their special day. We light this specific candle in honor of National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day, which is held every February 7th. As we bring awareness to the growing AIDS, HIV epidemic in Black communities, we also bring awareness to the resources available in our community and fight the stigma around the disease so that those suffering can receive the care they need in an atmosphere of love. Our last flame is for all the joys and concerns that remain unspoken.
Hello, my name is Hannah Laura, and I'm reading Gandhi's Peace Prayer. I offer you peace. I offer you friendship. I offer you love. I see your beauty. I hear your needs. I feel your feelings. My wisdom comes from a higher source. I honor that source in you. Let us work together.
Our February virtual offerings will go to UUA's Side with Love campaign. Side with Love is a public advocacy campaign that seeks to harness love's power to stop oppression. It amplifies the voices of the oppressed through online media, partnering with others at justice events across the country, lobbying national leaders on immigrant reform, racial justice, equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer people, religious freedom, and more, and above all, working to make love real in the world.
Love surrounds me, this I know, for my spirit tells me so. All of us to love belong. It fills our hearts and makes us strong. Yes, love surrounds me. Yes, love surrounds me. Yes, love surrounds me. My spirit tells me so. Love surrounds you, this I know, for my spirit tells me so. All of us to love belong. It fills our hearts and makes us strong. Yes, love surrounds you. Yes, love surrounds you. Yes, love surrounds you. My spirit tells me so. Love surrounds us, this I know, for my spirit tells me so. All of us to love belong. It fills our hearts and makes us strong. Yes, love surrounds us. Yes, love surrounds us. Yes, love surrounds us. My spirit tells me so. You.
Is it done?
Love surrounds me, this I know, for my spirit tells me so. All of us to love belong. It fills our hearts and makes us strong. Hello, I'm Chris Jarman, the Director of Lifespan Religious Education here at Buckman Bridge Unitarian Universalist Church. Today, I would like to share a story with all of you. It's called The Wise Salome. It is a wisdom tale from China. In this story, a wise young woman will teach us how love surrounds us in many ways. The story begins a long, long time ago in the country of China. There lived a young woman of the Muslim Hui people whose name was Salome. Although she was a farm girl, too poor to attend school, Salome nonetheless paid close attention to life all around her. When an old woman in the village needed help but was too proud to ask for it, Salome would know just the right time to visit. When children scraped their knees, Salome arrived to assist, even if they were not her own children. She may have been poor and unschooled, but Salome possessed a wise and deep heart. Once, her father-in-law, a carpenter named Ali, was ordered by the emperor to make some repairs to his palace. Fearful of doing less than his best for the emperor, Ali pushed himself to work his very hardest, working both day and night. Yet, as it sometimes happens, the time came when Ali went beyond his limits. Dizzy with fatigue, hands shaking, momentarily careless, Ali tipped over the emperor's most precious vase. The pieces shattered all too loudly in the great hall. Servants came running, and soon enough the emperor heard the story of his ruined, priceless vase. "Bring this carpenter to me at once," he demanded. Handcuffed and escorted by 3 guards, Ali, trembling, stood speechless before the emperor. The emperor drew his sword, and as it hovered over Ali's head, Ali at last spoke up. "Forgive me, your worship. I did not mean to break the vase. I promised to pay for it. I promised to pay." The emperor lowered his sword just a bit. "A poor old wee like yourself could never replace such a treasure. Do not jest with me." "Please, your grace, have mercy upon me," Ali begged. "I will pay." The emperor resheathed his sword with a sly smile. "Very well, old wee. I do not expect you to replace my vase. Instead, I will give you 10 days to find 4 things. The emperor hesitated and thought, tugging on his beard. The first thing you must get me is something more black than the bottom of a pan. Second, you must find me something clearer than a mirror. The emperor waited a moment, watching Ali's reactions. But Ali stared blankly at the floor. The emperor continued, the third, something stronger than steel. And the emperor smirked. And lastly, find me something as vast as the sea. If you fail at any of these, I will chop off your head. Finished, the emperor smiled broadly, quite pleased with himself. Ali looked stricken. How, he wondered, how could I achieve these impossible tasks? Does the emperor simply wish to torture me for the last 10 days of my life? Sick with dread, he hung his head and turned away and headed home. For the next week, he could neither eat nor sleep. His family knew something was terribly amiss, but Ali would not discuss it. Please, Father, Salome said, what is the trouble? Perhaps we can help. Begging and pleading, Salome at last coaxed Ali into talking. He cradled his head between his hands and wept as he named the emperor's 4 impossible tasks. But Salome responded as if these were everyday requests. This isn't a problem, Father. Don't worry. I will have all of these things when the emperor comes tomorrow. I shall present them to him myself. Ali assumed that Salome was only trying to comfort him. He didn't want her to get in trouble with the emperor, too. Don't be foolish, Salome, he warned. These 4 things do not exist. The emperor just wants to make me suffer further before killing me. Salome persisted. Father, I really do have these things. I know you don't believe me now, but wait until tomorrow. I will show them to both you and the emperor. I wonder, what does she have? Do you know? Let's see. And so it was that very next day, the 10th day since the broken vase, the emperor appeared surrounded by troops at Ali's door. Old wee, come forward and give to me the 4 things you owe me, bellowed the emperor. Ali came outside with Salome by his side. They both bowed humbly, never daring to meet the emperor's eyes. Salome then stepped forward. Your Majesty, she said, the 4 things you requested are ready to be presented. Please, if you would, name them one by one. The first thing I must have, said the emperor, is that which is more black than the bottom of a pan. He touched the sheath of his sword with a glint in his eye. Salome answered, This, your majesty, can be found in the bottomless, greedy heart. The emperor held his surprise. This girl, he reassured himself, cannot be so smart. She is just a farm girl. He nodded briefly. The next thing you must present is something more clear than a mirror. Do you have that? He asked. Salome answered, Yes. Knowledge offers a clarity greater than any mirror. The emperor looked dumbstruck. Well, he stammered, do you have something stronger than steel to give me? Love, said Salome, is the strongest thing in the world. Knowing that he had been bested, the emperor stood speechless. Ali glanced over at Salome and stood a little taller. At last, the emperor cleared his throat and made his last request. And what do you have that could possibly be as vast as the sea? He asked. A virtuous heart is as vast as the sea, your majesty. Her head lowered. Salome smiled and said, No more. Flustered and humbled, the emperor sputtered, It's time to leave. Old Wee, you are hereby pardoned. He turned to his troops and shouted, March! As the emperor of China distanced himself, Salome held her father-in-law's hand. Together, she and Ali bowed in relief and gratitude to Allah. Because of Salome's wise heart, Ali could now live a long and happy life. Salome paid close attention to life and everything and everyone around her. She too knew that love surrounded her, and she let her love become an instrument of good by helping those around her. As Unitarian Universalists, we too are instruments of giving love in the world. Reading number 471 in Singing the Loving Tradition tells us love is the doctrine of this church, reminding us that love is the core teaching and practice of what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist. This is reinforced by the stories and theology of Unitarian Universalism that teach that no one is left outside of the circle. Reading number 471 goes on to say, and service is its prayer. We learn this in children's religious education as deeds, not creeds. We are a faith of action. Our faith fills our hearts with love and makes us strong so that we are able to do the work of social justice. Whether that means standing up for someone at school who's being bullied, or donating to a food drive, or picking up garbage on the side of the road. It also means as a congregation, we're committed to the work of eye care. We volunteer to help our community identify social issues, find solutions to those issues, work with our elected officials, and hold them accountable to their commitments. We work to help build and sustain the beloved community. As our UUA president, Reverend Susan Frederick Gray, has said, love as a religious practice extends our compassion, our solidarity, and care beyond the personal to seeking the liberation and wholeness of every person. It reminds us of our fundamental interdependence with all of life. It is this understanding of love that forms one of the most precious gifts Unitarian Universalism gives us. the gift of a religion that teaches that the work of justice is inseparable from a faith rooted in love. Love surrounds us. This I know, because my spirit tells me so. All of us to love belong. It fills our heart, and it makes us strong. I wonder, where are some places you feel surrounded by love? How does that love fill your heart and make you strong? How will you share your strength with the world? Blessed be.
Hello, my name is Joseph, and today I will be reading the closing words. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all love surround you. May the pure light within you guide your way on. Amen, blessed be, and namaste.
1, 2, 3, 4. Go now in peace. Go now in peace. May the love of God surround